Hi everyone, my name's Jenna, and I got to interview Amber from Eats and Exercise by Amber.com about how she stays on top of her health with meal prepping. If you're interested in health and fitness, especially starting with what you eat, her answers are going to help you get started. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to post them below.
Growing up and up until I was 18 and went away to college, I did not eat healthy. I didn't eat fruits, I didn't eat vegetables, nothing green could be on my plate, I didn't drink water, I laughed at the idea of people like exercising for fun. Even though I had played sports in high school, I played lacrosse, I was on the cheerleading team, I would like groan when my coach would say for cheerleading you'd be running laps, which is ironic because you're playing a sport, you should want to be active.
Right.
I just wasn't broadening my horizons. And when I first got to college, I had a friend who was really pushy with everything. What do you mean you're not coming out? Come out, come out. We're doing this. Come do it. And in the dining hall, she was like, what do you mean you don't eat vegetables? Have you tried it? You should try it. So she kind of like opened my eyes to, I can't just say I don't like everything if I don't try it.
Right.
She was like, just take a bite if you like it. And it kind of got me started with, okay, this isn't like so bad. Maybe I'll eat some vegetables. Maybe I'll try some fruits, some whole wheat bread. At the time, I wasn't diagnosed with celiac disease, so I had a lot more options. And then upon my diagnosis, preparing my own food just made life a lot easier and a lot safer for me. Favorite tool in the kitchen when I'm meal prepping is something very basic. It's actually these knives that my dad bought me when I first moved out on my own into an apartment in college. I think they're from BJ's or Costco, but I'm not very like hand-eye coordinated, so using like the longer fancy types of knives when you're cutting vegetables, I will cut my finger off. So instead with this, I have a lot more control. I use it from making my sandwiches, cutting my veggies, my fruits, cutting my meat up. It's like my go-to for everything. I use it for everything. When I'm cutting a squash, it cuts through the thick skin of a squash, so that's my favorite. Oh, and my tomato saver's pretty up there too. So that's where my like shining moment, I guess, came was when I realized that my meal prep for beginners post was the top hit on Google because it was so basic. So I call it the 2 P's, plan and prep. The first thing you want to do is you want to plan what you're going to make. I have a whiteboard on my fridge, but you can also just make a to-do list of like what I plan on making, and I keep it very basic. I pick my proteins I want to make for the week. So chicken, ground turkey, fish. If you're vegetarian, maybe you'd be doing tofu. My vegetables that I'm going to want to make. And I keep my veggies simple. I buy like frozen 99-cent ones in a bag from Wegmans. If I have any fresh like fruit or my cucumbers I need to chop up, and then like your grains or your carb source. So quinoa, oats, sweet potatoes. And then I like to call it in my post, I call it preparing everything basic. So your meats, maybe don't go overboard with like an extravagant marinade, but instead just season your ground turkey with a little bit of garlic. Now you have a bulk amount of ground turkey that throughout the week you can add to spaghetti squash with red sauce, and you've got a ground turkey red sauce meal. Or you can throw in a tortilla with some tomatoes, some cilantro, and some other spices. Now you've got tacos. And instead of making specific meals, I just kind of prep all of the meats and veggies and starches in bulk, and then I decide during the week, oh, I'm craving this. Let me just plop, scoop it all together and add some seasons or marinade or an extra ingredient like diced tomatoes are my favorite to either make something Mexican by adding paprika and chili powder, or making like an Italian twist by adding basil to some spaghetti squash and meat. Obviously for celiac disease, I follow a gluten-free diet, but what's much more limiting for me is my severe irritable bowel syndrome. through a long process of trial and error and also being involved in a clinical trial, I have a laundry list of foods that I simply cannot tolerate. They cause me having extreme flare-ups. My IBS symptoms will become really bad. Before I had figured my diet out, I was on 9 medications a day, and I had been hospitalized twice for my IBS. Not for being gluten or anything with my celiac. So I always have to make sure that I'm getting enough protein in, and I have a carb at each of my meals. Otherwise, I will get sick. And a lot of veggies. So for me, I just make sure I prep my overnight oats. I eat the same breakfast every single morning that I have for...
Oats are my breakfast too.
I think I'm on year 4 of the overnight oats, and I still love them. And for dinner, I prep everything in bulk. So I'll go to the container of meat that's got all the meat. It's a larger container of meat, and I'll serve myself out that. I am more into intuitive eating, so I'm not measuring out, I have to have 50 grams of this, 10 grams of that. That's not something that personally works best for me. Other people that are trying to lose weight or, maybe have diabetes or other health restrictions, I totally understand and support that. But for me, I probably eat off of 4 plates, and I've got my protein, I've got 2 different types of vegetables, a starch as a squash, in addition to a carb. So for what works for me may not work for someone else per se, but I try and aim to eat about 120 grams of protein a day.
Right.
Because 1 gram per pound of body weight, it is what's recommended if you're trying to build muscle and stay satiated. The first thing is not in the sense that I'm lucky whatsoever, but it's not so much about I really want to eat that, but I know I shouldn't. It's, I really want to eat those donuts that everyone is eating, but there's gluten in them, and I cannot.
Right.
Or everyone else is having a glass of wine, and I know wine is a high FODMAP, and if I drink that, my IBS will put me out of commission, and I'll be sick for the next 3 days. So because of my conditions, it doesn't make it easier to say no, but I have to say no. But that doesn't mean that I don't sit there and I'll get upset. For a period of time after I finagled my diet enough where I knew what I could and couldn't have, if other people were eating things that I couldn't eat, I would either A, become upset, or B, I would go home and then binge on things that I couldn't.
Yeah, I think a lot of people can relate to that.
Because then once I get home, I've been thinking about chocolate cake for, 3 hours.
Right.
And I would just start inhaling everything I could in sight. So my biggest recommendation is whenever I'm going to an event, whether it's a party, a venue, a restaurant, I find out what everyone else is eating and I make my own substitute. For people always don't question me because if I say, why are you bringing your own food, I'll say I have food intolerances. They're not going to question me. Someone else who's saying, I want to make healthier choices, other people, I like to call them food pushers. They'll be like, why can't you just eat it for today?
Right.
It's your body, it's your life, it's your choices. So you know what? You find out you're going to a barbecue, who cares? Bring your own turkey burger. Use a lettuce bun. You know that there's going to be cake served. Bring maybe a protein mug cake, or bring a dessert that's a healthified treat version that you can enjoy and share with everyone else to maybe some of those food pusher friends. Hey, look, I made these brownies. Oh, you like them? They're actually healthy brownies.
Right.
So for other people who don't maybe have a condition that makes them have to eat a certain way, but they're choosing to for their own health and what makes them feel better, bring your own and don't be embarrassed. You got to own that Tupperware life. Because if you're trying to be all secret about it, it kind of draws more attention as opposed to, I just, roll up with my ISO bag on my shoulder and, when people ask questions, instead of becoming embarrassed, I kind of use it as a platform to educate others.
Right.
I think that food is one of the greatest medicines or greatest poisons that we can put into our own bodies. Some people just really aren't aware.
Well, thank you so much, Amber, for your time. You guys, you should check out her blog, the meal prep for beginners. That's what it's called, right?
Yeah.
The Plan and Prep. I strongly recommend that for you if you're new into getting into meal prepping and your health and fitness journey. She also has really good gluten-free and gluten-free recipes. I know I have a few friends myself that have celiac disease, so. Awesome. Thank you so much for your time again, Amber, and happy 2-year anniversary on your blog as well. That's exciting.
Thank you so much, Jenna, and thank you everyone for watching our interview. Sending all of you positive vibes, and stay tuned to Jenna because she's got some exciting things rolled up with that sleep of hers.
Awesome. Okay. Bye, Amber.
Bye, Jenna. Thank
Thanks.
you.